started by myself as Premier of the Western Cape back in the day. Started by us because he attempted, against his oath of office, to influence judges of the Constitutional Court to rule in favor of Jacob Zuma. Now, a more egregious and extreme case of judicial misconduct would be hard to find. And so, while we respect the fact that MK, in terms of the law, has a right to nominate someone to sit on the Judicial Service Commission that chooses judges, we contest the fact that they may choose someone who has such a profound conflict of interests. MK has argued that we cannot quibble or second-guess their choice for the Judicial Service Commission. And they say that Parliament has designated him, in fact, to serve on the Judicial Service Commission. The critical, pioneering, precedent-setting issue before this court is whether someone who is so entirely compromised and was seen as unfit and improper to serve as a judge should be allowed to be in a position where they interview and select judges. We believe that this is a watershed case for South Africa, and it will go down in history as the case that either defended the independence of the judiciary or compromised it. We are here before the Western Cape High Court today because we have a landmark precedent-setting case to determine who Parliament may designate to become a member of the Judicial Service Commission to select judges of our courts. But if MK nominated Dr. Hlope, does not mean automatically that Parliament is bound to send him and designate him. Parliament must still apply its mind. Parliament has a duty to uphold the independence and integrity of the judiciary. We are contending that Parliament should not be able to designate Dr. John Hlope, who was impeached as a judge, to become a member of the Judicial Service Commission to choose judges.
It's very important to ensure that people who have shown previous misconduct, people who have shown that they do not have the necessary integrity to hold particular seats, that they do not hold those seats.
If we want to defend the integrity and independence of our judiciary, we can't allow impeached former judges to sit and choose future judges who will sit in our courts. That is the case before this court today, and the DA is working very hard to uphold the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law.
So today we had another sitting of the Police Portfolio Committee specifically focusing on the analysis of crime statistics and specifically the stats for the previous 2 quarters that were released last week.
While focusing on combating crime, we must not ignore the internal challenges within the South African Police Service. We cannot effectively fight crime when questionable or unqualified people are sometimes remaining in certain ranks of the South African Police Service.
What was positive, and that should be acknowledged, was the fact that there's a very serious attention or focus specifically with regards to improving crime intelligence capabilities, improving detective capabilities, and really making sure that we've got specialized capacity to address some of the issues that we have. It's also important that we acknowledge that police can't fix everything. A lot of issues that are, for example, challenges within the correctional services environment or the National Prosecuting Authority often get blamed on the police, and therefore we feel strongly about the idea of having an integrated strategy to make sure that prosecution and investigation alike work in parallel to each other, and that they've got an integrated approach to make sure that they're on the same page and that we don't see counterproductive initiatives.